Hello, hello. Welcome back to the L.A.M.E Book Club podcast. My name is Melissa.
I'm Ellie.
And if you've been listening for any number of time, you'll know that I just really reached into the archives to pull out that hello, hello, and I did that on purpose. It's been a while since I've said that.
Oh, I love that.
Oh, I guess maybe not, because Ellie didn't even notice.
No.
It used to be.
Honestly, I thought about that the other day.
Yeah.
I thought about your intros the other day and thought that in my mind, you were saying, hey, hey. And I was like, oh, I really hate that. But it was hello, hello. And I like that. You should bring that back.
I'm going to start saying, hey, hey, welcome back to the L.A.M.E Book Club podcast.
It reminds me of Fat Albert. And so I don't like it. That's really his thing. Leave it with him.
It is. I will let Albert have that one. No, I used to do hello, hello, and it was almost like a nervous tick because, I mean, it took us a while to get comfortable doing these. And then it got in the habit of saying hello, everyone, because that felt a little bit more natural. But I like actively thought about it today, and I'm like, you know what, I'm going to say hello, hello again and see how it feels.
You want to, real quick, kind of like talk about how this podcast has changed us? Because I have a thing. I hate public speaking. And I'd argue, obviously, this isn't really public speaking, but also isn't it? Because
no, it's not.
It is, in a sense. I know that what I'm going to say here is going to go out to thousands of people in the near future. And so I have to be very diligent with my words and intentional and know how to and now I lose the word as I'm coming up with the sentence on how carefully I have to curate my sentences. But
it is different because while you might understand that people are going to be listening to it, you're not actively delivering this in front of all of the people that are going to be listening. And so I feel like it's still very different than public speaking, because when people who have a fear of public speaking, like you would say that you do, it's not it's partially what you're talking about, but it's not, you could be talking about anything. It's just the fear of speaking in front of people, and we don't really have to worry about that because
I hear what you're saying, but the thing is that I'm trying to say here is that it has helped with my public speaking, because I've had to give a couple breakdowns at work and in front of the company, and I have been like, I've got this, because I think it's this podcast. It's giving me some kind of confidence. So
well, look at this.
Anyways, hello.
Real world application, everyone.
Yeah.
We have some housekeeping things to go over before we jump into our Kingdom of Ash Week 2 episode, chapters 21 through 40. So if you haven't already, I know it's Wednesday, go back and listen to our most recent Hot Goss episode. We actually talk about if smut is used as a crutch for cheap writing. So it's interesting. No, please listen to our disclaimer in the beginning of that. There's no judgment, no condemnation. It's just our thoughts on that. And I feel like a lot of people are going to agree, honestly, especially based on like just random polls I've seen online. So just go listen to that. There aren't any spoilers for any. We kind of like briefly mentioned some very popular series such as ACOTAR and the Empyrean series, but we don't really talk about anything that happens in them. So there's no spoilers. It's just thoughts on book writing, kind of like in general. Definitely leans more on the unpopular opinion, I think, side of the hot goss with unpopular sauce, but it was cathartic, I think, for me, honestly. I liked talking about it. I had a good time. So I hope you enjoyed listening to it.
Good.
And if you listened to our book club episode from a few weeks ago, we announced that we're launching a Patreon on October 2nd.
Patreon?
I know, Patreon, you'll say? So yes, October 2nd, that will be launching. For the first couple weeks, we're going to have some bonus content. And then after October 16th, all of our book club episodes will be moving onto the Patreon. So if you want to vote on what book we do next for our book club, be sure to join earlier rather than later, because we're going to have that poll up soon, or like quickly after launching it, so that we have enough time to prepare for our episodes. And so we will leave it up to you guys, our Patreon members, to decide what we do next. And so go join that. We are also going to be doing our annual October Scary Stories episode.
I love Halloween.
I'm excited because this year we've grown so much since last year, and I want to open up the floor for you guys to share your scary stories. So we have in our Instagram bio, it's part of our link tree, there's an option for Google Forms for our Halloween stories. You can submit your story there. We want to cap it around 1,000 words. We don't want it to be too long, but honestly know that that's like a very loose, like number. It's just kind of like, if it can't be too long because we want to read multiple in an episode. But if you are picked, if your story is picked and read, we will send you an official L.A.M.E book club sticker. And if your story is the winner of all the stories that we read, then you will also get a little swag bag. Is that what you called it, Ellie? A swag bag?
Swag bag.
A little swag bag.
A bag of swag.
Go ahead and submit those stories. You certainly don't have to be a Patreon member to submit a story. However, know that our Patreon members' submissions will be read first. So if there's a lot of really awesome options between our Patreon members, you might, you snooze, you lose. So definitely join Patreon as well. Shameless plug. But we will read all of them and pick from there. So go ahead and submit your story. We're excited to read them all. It's going to be fun. We will also be dressing up.
We will be. It can be. And we are not telling each other what we're dressing up as. And we're just going to open our eyes and there we will be on screen seeing each other for the first time, as you will. So you'll get our raw reactions. Last time Melissa was orange. It was a hoot. But anyways, back to the scary story submissions. It can be something that has happened in your life. It can be completely fiction. You can write about fae. You can write about vampires.
Whatever you want.
Surprise me.
Yep.
I'm so excited. I can't wait. I am
wait.
Too.
I'm so ready. And then Ellie, do you have, please like, subscribe, follow us on all the social medias and on YouTube. We're at L.A.M.E Book Club Pod. Please leave us a review on Apple Podcasts if you haven't already. We really enjoy them. It helps boost our algorithm a lot and it's just fun to read them. And with that being said, we have a review of the week. Ellie, do you have it ready to go?
I do. This comes from Caitlin Joe 37, 5 stars. It says, I don't even like podcasts, but I love this one. Said, seriously, this has made me a podcast person. I'm literally listening to the Tandem Fandom every Wednesday, and I'm not even currently reading those books, but reliving them with all the hilarious insights from Melissa and Ellie is so fun. Every single episode, I'm laughing out loud along with them and seriously dying for them to read and chat about all my fantasy favorites. They are so entertaining, but also they give genuine and thoughtful reviews about books that I really appreciate. Let's dissect all the character development, or lack thereof, pacing, world building, and theories. I am here for it.
Ooh, thank you. Thank you, Caitlin. And Caitlin, join our Patreon so you can tell us what books to do next. I'm going to keep just doing like shameless plugs. Yeah, also, everyone just join our Patreon. And that, next week, our Kingdom of Ash week 3, it's going to be chapters 41 through 60, so stay tuned for that. And that's all that I have. Ellie, do you have anything else before we jump into the episode?
Nope.
Oh, I do. Actually, I lied. My sweatshirt. Have you seen it?
I have seen it, but you want to know why I've seen it?
It's because
we recorded 3 episodes prior to this one in the same outfits. You guys are not obviously getting them all at the same time, but Ellie is actually going out of town next week, so we are batch recording, and we have done 4. This is our 4th episode today that we've recorded. And so when we work hard, baby.
Yeah.
So Melissa's wearing that same sweater. But tell us where it's from.
It's from the Bean Workshop. Lots of really fun, spooky, surprise, if you've been listening. They have lots of fun, spooky content. I'm not going to read it again because I feel dumb reading it for a 4th time, but it's got a cute little ghost.
I'll read
ghosty.
it. Wait, I'll read it. It says, I can't see it.
I know, it's backwards and it's backwards. It says, I only accept treats in the form of books, and it has a cute little ghost accepting books for Halloween. It's fun. They also have one that says, I'm haunted by my TBR, and that's what I'm getting next.
If you're not watching the YouTube, when I said, what's it say? And she started reading it, I just winked directly at the camera. Got you to read it a 4th time. I'm ready. Let's get into this. Oh, no, I'm not. The Bean Workshop. If you want 10% off to get cute, spooky attire for this very spooky season, and bookish. Oh yeah, I got a sweater. It has not come in yet. Melissa has sent it to me, but it says Crescent City University. I'm so pumped.
Thanks for calling me out.
So they have all kinds of book merch. And if you want 10% off, use our discount code L.A.M.E Book Club Pod, or you can go to our Instagram. The link is in our bio. You can click it, and your 10% will already be applied. So
yes,
that's that. Now I'm ready.
Amazing. All right, well, the time has come for week 2, chapter 21. We're jumping in with my personal favorite, Aelin.
Nice.
Aelin spreads false rumors about a captured Valg prince with a wordstone collar in the area. Maeve has summoned a massive army around Dornell. Aelin plans to enter the city, ask for Cairn, and find Aelin's location. Lysandra takes bird form. Oh, I couldn't read what I said. I'm like, Lysandra takes bird. Lysandra takes bird form and flies around to scout Morath's coming army. It consists of 50,000 soldiers led by Ilkin and 5 Valg princes. Terrason's amassed troops number only 25,000. And we actually talked about this last week, how there's like one scene where it's like, they have 10,000 people. And I'm curious, Ellie, is 50,000 enough for you? Is that enough? Or is it still not?
It is. But you know what? How they're like, oh my gosh, Terrason only has 25,000 people. In my mind, I don't know if I'm a sick freak for thinking this, but when I really was reading this, I was like, that's just 2 people per person. If you can just kill 2 people.
Yeah, you've never been in battle.
That's not even a large amount. That's just, if everyone pulls their own weight and does 2, you're golden.
You've never fought, and it's showing right now. All right. Morath's forces push northward for 2 days, slaughtering Terrason's crumpling army. Lysandra, disguised as Aelin, shows up, but of course cannot wield her fire magic. Honestly, to me, like, I get it, you kind of have to save face, but knowing that she can't do anything, I'm wondering why she even showed up. Like, I'm like, truly, not like in the moment, but I'm thinking, like, would it have better for her to just been a figurehead? But I don't know. There'd be questions if she never showed up either, so I don't know. It's a lose-lose.
I think I agree in the sense that I think she should not have shown up, because you could much...
Yeah, but then people are going to be like, why am I fighting for someone who's not even showing up for me? So, like, I see
but you
both
could
sides.
Also be like, why am I fighting for someone who wouldn't fight for me when the fight is right now, it's happening, and she could save a lot of us, and she's just sitting there. But so if you were like, I'm sick, that's
I think we're
so
saying the
much
same thing.
easier. Yeah. No, you're saying she should have shown up. I'm saying she shouldn't have shown up.
You're right. I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because I think the excuse that you could make of like, I had to do XYZ and for the war, for the purposes of saving everybody else, but I couldn't be there, is much more excusable than like, use your fire, save us now. And you're like, I can't.
Yeah, but no.
Mm-hmm.
Aelin sneaks into the kingdom of Dornell and questions a group of soldiers at a tavern while pretending to be Cairn's jilted lover. She learns
Jilted
that Maeve
is
has...
so funny.
I love that word. That's going to be my new
Jilted.
Mary. I'm just going to start saying,
no.
Ellie, you seem jilted. Except this one I'll use a little bit more correctly.
Wait, I want to see exactly what it means. Jilted.
Jilted? It's like jilted. No,
so
I don't know. Thank you.
It's suddenly reject or abandon, specifically a lover.
Ellie, stop acting jilted. She
All right.
learns that Maeve has left the city, but the soldiers do not reveal Cairn's whereabouts. I'm sorry, I have to sneeze. Nope. Yes.
Oh.
Okay, we're good. A female warrior of the group, Asar, follows Aelin when she leaves. She claimed to be a friend of Maeve's cadre and reveals that Cairn is with the soldiers at the city's eastern camp. Aelin and her group plan to infiltrate the camp at dawn when the watch is at its weakest. Manon and the 13 prepare to follow the Krakens to L.A. Manon completes tasks for Glennis, delivering clean brooms to various Krakens throughout the camp. Are you laughing at how hard it is for me to get this sentence out?
I think, no, once again, the name Glennis is off-putting to me. But then also, like, what a stereotypical witchy task. Clean the brooms. Bring them back spick and span.
But, I mean, it's so Cinderella of Manon to do that, and that's, I think,
so
the point.
Cinderella.
Dorian continues teaching himself to shift, but only manages to turn his eyes brown. Boring. Dorian and Manon come close to admitting they care for another, but shocking, they don't. My goodness.
Wow, you're hateful. 4 episodes in, she's hateful.
This is 2 episodes in. Oh, 4 episodes today. Yeah, they meant to the series. I just, my filter is going away, and I need to put it back. Aelin is strapped to a metal table inside a war tent. When Cairn is about to torture her with fire, she decides to goad him into killing her before Maeve can place a wordstone collar around her neck. Rowan's intuition spurs him to rush the camp early. I remember when he did that, I was like, no! Like, I remember thinking, if this screws everything up because he couldn't wait, I'm gonna be so irritated. But only because we've been waiting. What is chapter 20? This is chapter 26 we're about to jump into. We've been waiting this long for her to be rescued. And if he ruins it, I was going to lose it. Aelin convinces Cairn to unlock her from the table to beat her more thoroughly. His assault is not enough to kill her, though, so Aelin pitifully resigns herself to her fate. Aelin's defeat motivates Fenrys to sever his blood oath with Maeve, even though it'll likely kill him to do so, and attack Cairn. While Fenrys distracts Cairn, Aelin uses a hot poker to break the chains on her feet and runs. Fenrys. I've always liked Fenrys, but the beginning of Kingdom of Ash made him, like, truly top 5 SJM book boyfriends for me. Like, 3 Michelin stars, no notes. Aelin unknowingly flees away from Rowan towards Logan and towards Lorcan and Gabriel.
Pause here.
I don't know what is my problem.
Aelin running. Oh, first of all, Aelin, as weak as she is in the moment, running scared me because I'm like, she's gonna break her fragile bones. Like, genuinely, I was like, she's gonna pass out. She's gonna faint. I'm so scared for her.
Or something. Yeah.
Second, her running away from Rowan, I was like, Sarah, why? I was like, so mad, and I took that personally.
Like Michael Jordan.
Yeah.
She slays every soldier in her path as Lorcan and Gabriel use their powers from a distance to block arrows fired at her by archers. I did like that, though, that Lorcan and Gabriel, even though they weren't there and even though she was going in the opposite direction as Rowan, like, she still was somehow protected.
But then, did your mind go to, okay, she's running away, Rowan's running towards,
she's gonna get trapped?
Saved, he's gonna get captured next, and they're still gonna be apart. I was losing my mind.
I did think that, yes. Rowan shifts into hawk form to meet them. I did forget he could shift into a hawk, though, until he did this, and I was like, oh yeah, he can fly. He shifted into his hawk form to meet them outside of the camp. Aelin cries out for Fenrys, who is still facing Cairn. I love the relationship that was built between the two of them through this.
I know.
The loyalty and just like how, okay, they saved Aelin, and like, while I don't for one second think Aelin wouldn't have been upset, it would have made sense for them to keep going. Like, she thought he was dead. He thought he was gonna die. Like, he thought it was gonna kill him, and she was rescued. She's the future, not Fenrys. Like, it would have made sense for them to keep going just to ensure her safety. But she was like,
but she would not allow
absolutely not. Like, you don't know what he did for me, which is also so true.
It just kills me. It's so good.
I know. So Rowan and Gabriel find Cairn and Fenrys, both of them being injured. Gabriel uses his power to heal them both, and then, only for Rowan to chain Cairn to the tent's metal table and torture him to death. And this is the most happy I'm ever going to be hearing someone got tortured to death.
Best served hot.
It is sweet, my friends.
Real quick. Is this the first time I'm realizing that Gabriel has healing powers? Did we ever talk about that?
Yeah, I mean, they all... was it Gabriel healed a lead after... Or was it Gabriel that... or Fenrys healed a lead after... No. Fenrys is the one who bit her arm. Gabriel healed her after Fenrys bit her. Remember in End of Empire of Storms? So, yes, maybe you're just being aware, but it's not the first time he's done anything. He's done that.
All right.
Skin and Aelin arrive at the Glen where Elide waits. Aelin screams for them to remove the shackles at her wrists and ankles and the iron mask covering her face, but they can't without a locksmith. Oh, her screaming for this, got me. My goodness. When Rowan and Gabriel return with Fenrys, Aelin teaches Rowan the word mark smell for open. He uses his blood to unlock and remove her chains and mask. With the iron removed, Aelin can access her fire magic, and her body alights in flame, burning her white shift off. Her friends see that her body is completely devoid of all the battle scars she's acquired over the years.
What's a shift?
Like, I've this might not be right, but I picture it like a nightgown or like underclothing.
Shift.
Like it was just
clothing.
It's like a simple
it's a dress
gown.
Yeah, it's plain cloth.
Okay.
I
picture it being like in like Bridgerton, like the white nightgowns that they wear. Like I picture like a shift. That's and also that I'm picturing, this is so stupid because this is not at all what your first instinct should be, but I'm pictured in that moment being Rowan being like, stop looking at my woman. Like she's naked, burning on the ground.
I know.
And I know that that's not the point of what's happening because ultimately it's so sad, but I think I'd have a hard time being Rowan in that scenario, being like, I'm not going to tell her to stop because she needs to do this, but I am going to tell you guys to go away. Like,
close your eyes.
Yeah, let her mourn alone. Like, I don't. I lost where I was going.
Okay,
wait. Yes, but then
wait.
The scars
I'm
being
putting
gone,
myself. Though? Wait, real quick. I'm putting myself in that position, and if that was like my husband on the ground in the nude, and it was all my girlfriends around, I don't think I'd like that.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm like. I realize
everyone
that
turn around except me.
Like I realized that was not the point of at all, even a little bit of what's going on. And I also know that I think the characters are just a lot more open with things in the book. Like, because this is not the first time Aelin had her shirt ripped off in front of everyone when at the end of Empire Storms when Karen was whipping her. Like she had no shirt on, and I'm assuming she wasn't wearing a bra. Like, and so this wouldn't be the first time that they've seen at least her upper half in the nude. Yeah. But because that's just not a normal thing in today's society, my first thought was, why didn't Rowan say anything? And I just hate, that's just me. Like I hate myself.
The circumstances are more dire, I think, than the
a little bit
situation of being naked.
Yet that's where I went. So
it's so fair though.
Also though, the fact that like that it pointed out that she didn't have her scars anymore, which just showed like she had been re-healed so much to the point where she has literally new skin. Like
that was horrible.
Heartbreaking.
It's such a weird feeling though, because on one hand I'm like, if I could get rid of some of the scars I have, immediately yes. But then on the other hand, when you recognize like what she had, like her whole back was torn up from Endovier and other scars I'm not remembering.
But
or is
she
it
had
mostly
other
just
ones.
the back? Yeah.
I don't honestly, this is
girl's gone through a lot.
Like
But I think on one hand, it's weird because I was on this like, oh, I'm kind of glad her scars are gone so she doesn't have to be reminded of that horrible time. But then on the other, it made her who she is. And for that to just be wiped away would really mess with someone. Yeah.
Yeah. And that's the whole point, like, of even pointing it out. Like, exactly what you just said. Moving back to Manon and Dorian, the rendezvous point is a bloody, deserted battlefield by the time the witches arrive. Manon and the 13 dig graves for the dead Krakens. Messengers sent to the king and queen of Aelway return with news that 4 Kraken covens survived and now aid the royal family in their fight against Morath's army. Dorian attempts to summon Gavin, but instead summons Kaltain. Kaltain's spirit confirms that the final word key is in Morath and orders Dorian to not stray from the keep. Dorian finally shapeshifts into a raven. Aedion and other...
Wait. I've been waiting for this. Have you seen Sky High?
Yes. It's been a while, so I don't know if I'm able to reference it, but I remember it.
I hope you can. There's a girl that's like, I'm a shapeshifter, and she goes like this and just turns into a guinea pig. That is what I pictured for Dorian when he's like, I could shapeshift now. And he turns into this crow.
Just a bird? A raven, not a crow, thank you.
Oh, yeah.
But they look really similar, so I get it. That's so funny. I totally forgot about that, but unlocked a core memory for me. Mm-hmm. I just remember the girl who had like the plant powers and like the vines. That's like my biggest. Yeah. Anyways, Aedion and other Terrasan allies have been fighting Morath's forces for 3 days. They won't last another night against Morath. Soldiers have begun to question why, quote, Aelin doesn't at least use her fire magic to light their way in the darkness. The remainder of Ansel's army has yet to arrive, and Aedion has little hope that reinforcements will come from the Krakens or the legendary Mycenaean fleet that the pirate captain Rolf is currently searching for. Aedion orders a retreat northward to the Terrasan city of Peranth, where they might be able to pick off Morath's chasing forces as they cross the Lannis River. Aedion takes his frustration.
Wait. Correct me if I'm wrong. Peranth, is that's where Aelin gave? Oh, that's
no. It's Elide is Lady of Peranth. That's like her home.
Yeah, that's where I've seen it before.
Yep.
What did Aelin tell Lysandra? Like,
I don't remember the name of it. I don't remember the name of it, but it starts with a C, I think. I don't remember exactly what it is though.
Okay.
Aedion takes his frustration out on Lysandra. He hates her and Aelin for secretly plotting to impersonate the queen during Aelin's absence. He calls her a useless shapeshifter and orders her out of his sight. And this was the beginning of the end for me with Aedion too. I want to say it had already started, but this is really when he started to lose me. And we all know your thoughts on Aedion, so you don't need to rehash that. Aelin struggles to trust that her rescue is real and not another illusion fabricated by Maeve. And we get it, honestly.
See, that's the I don't know if you guys listened to the last episode, but I said that with Maeve kind of like tinkering in Aelin's mind, I really wondered if this was going to take a Peeta Mellark situation where she's like, nothing's real. I don't know what's right. Maeve is who I serve, like XYZ. And so for this, I was like, here we go. I knew it.
Aelin's pent-up power threatens to unleash, but she restrains it. Rowan informs Aelin of Cairn's brutal death at his hands and reveals that she's been gone for 2 months and 3 days. When Aelin bathes in the ancient lake within a cave, 2 massive eels drag a large boat to her. The little folk tell Aelin to take the boat through the cave system, which will lead her to the sea undetected. The little folk have somehow come into possession of Mab's crown. They gift it to Aelin, crowning her queen of the little folk. The little folk lead Aelin, and the cadre through the cave systems. Elide grapples with her conflicting feelings about Lorcan. Though he played a part in saving Aelin, Elide hasn't yet decided if he is worthy of her forgiveness. The boat travels another 4 days through the cave systems. They enter the dangerous territory of the cave-dwelling Barrow Wights, ghosts who covet treasure. Aelin, Rowan, Gavriel, and Fenrys disembark to steal the Wights' gold to fund their travels. In the hoard, Aelin finds 2 rings for her and Rowan to symbolize their marriage. Fenrys trades his wolf form for his fae form for the first time since their rescue and informs his comrades of Connell's murder. Fenrys is cold.
Sad.
Fenrys is cold to Lorcan, whom he still blames for Aelin's capture. They sail for another 2 days, and Aelin uses this time to acknowledge her trauma and strategize for the war that lies ahead. Morath's army descends on Anielle 5 days later, giving residents time to evacuate. Those too weak for travel take shelter within the Westfall Keep. Nezran and Sartak arrive with their aerial force of rook-riding archers carrying healers with them. Kale learns that Irene is pregnant just before Morath's army advances on the city. Then the 13's decision to bury the Kraken witches is perceived as honorable, earning the Kraken's respect. Manon decides to fly to the Ferrying Gap and convince Petra Blueblood, the leader of the Ironteeth Blueblood clan, to join the 13 against Morath.
That was such a plot twist to me because I never saw the witches ever like teaming up together outside of like the Krakens.
I wasn't that surprised by it because of how much legwork SJM had already put into this story with Petra being different, and Petra like had a connection with her wyvern the same way that Manon did with Abraxos, and Petra had already stood up for her against Iskra or whatever like before and stuff. So I mean, Sarah had been laying the groundwork. Did I think she was gonna go back? No. But was I surprised?
Yeah.
Also no.
Yeah.
Huh.
Well, glad she's here now.
Yeah. Manon overhears Dorian talking with Kaltain, plotting to infiltrate Morath. Manon is concerned for Dorian as she believes this is a self-destructive mission. She asks that he first prove his shape-shifting ability by helping the 13 sneak into the Ferrying Gap. And that, my friends, is where we end for today. I really want to touch on quickly. I liked Aelin's, like, we've already gotten like her healing journey before, and so for this to potentially set her back, I like how she's learned how to handle trauma. So like we even said in chapter, what was it, 38, she, while they're sailing, so they're out of the cave tunnels, like they're sailing back to Terrasen, she uses this time to acknowledge her trauma and strategize for the war that lies ahead. Like, I like that she's, all right, I've learned how to do this, I've done it before, and now, like, we have things to do, so I'm gonna have to get over my trauma, and I'm gonna have to, and by doing that, I first have to acknowledge it and work through it. I don't know, I really liked her healing journey, like, 2.0 from this, because it would be so unrealistic for her to not have one, but I'm glad that I didn't take up 4 books like it did the first time.
Real quick, I am really surprised that you did not mention Fenris's blood oath. Did we?
No? Yeah. I'm really glad you brought that up, because I am just now realizing I'm looking through my summary and I accidentally skipped a chapter, and so pretty big one to skip. Yeah,
that's the one you skipped.
That's on me.
Let's skip the Dorian turning into a bird next time, and we'll do next this one instead.
I'll pick what I skip on accident next time.
Yeah, and just a little more considerate, please, next time.
Yeah, no, that was so heartwarming. That scene of Aelin giving Fenris the blood oath to literally save his life. Yeah. But I like how, oh my gosh, the fact that she was like, I'm only gonna do this if you want me to, and he blinked. Because that was how they,
because that's their little thing. Blink once for
the blinking. Yeah. It got me. I love Fenris so much. I love him.
I know.
So much.
You know what's interesting is when people say like, "Oh, I'm Team Fenris." Like I would want Fenris to save me out of everybody else. I genuinely, until we've done this like summary again, I did not even remember like a redeeming quality about Fenris. And now that I'm reading it again, I'm like, oh my gosh, how could I have forgotten? He is everything.
Honestly, how dare you forget? Really,
honestly, I'm sorry. Not good.
I'm just gonna apologize.
Oh, he's so great. And then she saves him mid-death because of her blood oath. And I truly was like, I don't know if this is gonna work, but it's gonna be so epic if it does. And it did, of course, because it's a book. It was so good.
Not only is it a book, but it's a book written by a woman for women, so he's not gonna die.
Yeah, a woman who also hates killing characters, so he was never on the list of death.
Who frequently actually brings people back, doesn't want them to stay dead.
Yep.
But so now that we've amended my massive mistake, thank you, Ellie. That is all we have for this week. It's a shorter one, but does not take away from the emotional impact by any means. It was still a doozy. Honestly, this entire book, you just cry all the time.
I know. It, some people say like this book really could have been shorter because there's quite a few filler chapters, but thus far, what are we on? 40? Week 2 of like, how many weeks do we have? 6? I think we have 6 weeks. No fillers in my opinion, all pretty vital to the story. And I've loved every chapter.
Yeah, I agree that there are fillers, or could be some things taken out. I remember, or at least I remember feeling like that going through it, but now I'm curious if I will feel the same way going through it round 2. But I do remember, like, the first time reading it, I remember feeling like, man, this could have been a little bit shorter. Nothing bad. There was nothing about it and I'm like, wow, this was just so stupid and pointless to add. I felt like some scenes just dragged on more than they needed to, or at least that's how I remember feeling. But we'll see if I still feel the same way now, round 2.
Okay, well, here I am saying like, that's so good. No notes, but I do have one note actually, and it's actually a pretty big one. Thus far, we have read quite a bit about Aedion, like leading around Terrasen's army. Yeah. I don't think we needed that much. I would take out about 5 of those chapters. I think
you just don't like Aedion.
I don't, but also like I don't care what's going on with the war right now. Like, I care if Erewhon's coming in. I don't know.
The war is just
I
happening.
want to read
It's
about
hard.
Aelin getting saved, and Aelin.
Yeah.
I want to read about Aelin and Rowan and Fenrys and their like selflessness and her getting back. And obviously, she can't get back to nothing. There has to be a story going on that she's coming back to. But there's like no juiciness in the war. It's just war. Boring. I think it's boring hard. War.
I think it's hard because the war is happening in 2 different places. And so we're getting a lot of war, but it's from different like aspects and different point of views and different scenarios, even though it's kind of all the same thing and the same war.
Yeah.
It's just happening in 2 spots. And I personally prefer what we're getting from Kale and the Rooks and all of them versus the whining, complaining we get from Aedion, and they just keep losing.
Yeah.
Too. So
if I may, a revision for Kingdom of Ash, if I was to rewrite some of this, you know what I would have done?
What?
If I may be so bold. You know how in
no, I don't.
Not Air of Fire. What's the one after that?
Crown of Midnight. I'm sorry. Queen of Shadows.
Yeah, I think it's Queen of Shadows. I think where Dorian's in the collar.
Yeah,
and you get every 10 chapters, you get 1 page of him like fighting the good fight, but he's just not making it out, and it's sad and depressing. If she would have done something like that for Aedion, like still fighting on, pushing Terrason's army north, XYZ, done 1 page, and then it moves on. But then I guess you wouldn't get a lot of like, but I don't know, maybe you get Lysandra's point of view or something. I just don't care for the war. And you may quote me on that.
I think we have. I agree. I think if we got more of his internal thought process, like, okay, sure, we get it. He's mad at Aelin and Lysandra for excluding him. But I think if we got more of like, why are you so upset? Like maybe, I don't know, let's bring it back to his childhood in Terrasen. Let's make up part of it being like he was left out from decisions then. And so now he's like feeling PTSD almost. It's like triggering that he's left out again. You know what I mean? Like maybe let's equate it to more than
Aren't
him
we
just
all
being like,
feeling a little PTSD from Aelin's decisions?
Well, yeah, but I wish there was more depth to it, more than just being like, I don't like not knowing what's going on. It feels like he's a toddler throwing a fit, and he takes it out on one person who truly doesn't deserve it more than anyone. Like, and so I don't know. I agree. I think if maybe we got more of his backstory, even through this, like it didn't need to be laid out. The groundwork didn't need to be laid before. If we got more now, I think I would have enjoyed him in this part and in his aspect of the war more than I did. I agree.
For sure.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that's that on that.
Again, yep. Well, have a great week, everyone. Tune in for our next Hot Goss episode on Monday. Don't forget to submit your scary, spooky stories using the link in our Instagram bio. And again, I'm going to say it for like the 8,000th time. Sign up for our Patreon October 2nd. It'll be dropping.
Yeah. Like, subscribe, follow, comment, all the works. Bye, everybody. Have a great week.
Bye.